What is up? What is up? Man, what is going on? What is going on? Another day, another 10 cents for us, another $250 for white folk. Man, another goddamn weekend Sunday. It's hot than a motherfucker outside. Man, what is going on? God damn. You already know I'm gonna hit y'all with it. Did he come back? God damn, niggas in there just shut up. All this bullshit. And like I said before, man, motherfucking white supremacists is still going oops upside your head while you up here praying to Cesare. So, shout out to everybody at the Court Plantation. If you're off the Court Plantation, man, much power and respect to you. I'm drinking some licorice root tea right now. I got my sea moss in there. I just made me some. That shit bombed in the motherfucker. But anyway, man, it's a lot of shit to discuss, a lot of shit that we got to get into, man. So I already know, man, when y'all getting done singing in the choir and shit, there's a lot of bitches out there that probably just got done coming from the club. You know what I'm saying? Some bitches, some bitches at the club last night. Some bitches was fucking, drinking, chilling, smoking. I know what you're doing, bitch. Just auctioning off that pussy, yo, ain't you? Just doing whatever you can. So shout out to all those that auction off their pussy, yo. I can auction off for you too. Hey, I can auction off that pussy for you. I'll start the auction off once we match your inventory with the Carfax on your pussy hole. So if you got over 100,000 miles on the pussy hole, we can start that bid off at, let me get $25. Let me get $25. Yeah, everybody, yes, everybody, yes, everybody. Yep, sold to the next sucker ass nigga. Oh man. You know what I'm saying? Cause I know it's a lot of women out there. There's a lot of niggas out there too. I know last night niggas out fucking partying, kicking in and chilling. Then today they go to church and ask for forgiveness, sing in the choir and testify and shout, sing and pray to Cesare. Think everything gonna be all right. So shout out to all y'all. Shout out to everybody at the Court Plantation. If you work at the Court Plantation on the weekend, man, much power and respect to you. You always gotta show respect and power. Hey Erica, what's going on? Why your messages always getting deleted? I see you, Erica, man. What's happening? The black and white? Yeah, I try to go black and white. You know, I was doing a little bit of working out shit, man. I'm trying to get rid of these titties and shit, man. I'm out there to have a bra in a minute. God damn, I got titties. But anyway, man, shout out to everybody out there, man. Handling business, man. We're gonna get into it, man. We got a lot of shit to discuss. You know, man, we're gonna definitely get into it today. I feel like we need to start educating our young fellas, our young brothers and sisters about internet play, because internet play is like the Matrix. What did Morpheus say in the Matrix? When he said, if I die in the Matrix, do I die in real life? Morpheus said, the body cannot live without the mind. So we have to understand, man, stop being plugged into this Matrix and playing these games. We're going to talk about social media, and not just that, we're going to talk about internet in its whole, in its entirety, and how we use the internet sometimes as a tool for evil, and then violence comes out of that situation. And I sure hate to see that happen amongst my people. I'm going to get into all that. I'm going to get into how we need to start educating our people young. Start educating them at 10 and 11, 12 years old. Hey, man, don't be playing on the internet. Some people take this shit literally. We got to start educating people on that, man. We got to start educating people on read, man. Let me tell you something. While you up here doing the devil's work sometimes our people do need discipline. I ain't going to lie. My melanated brothers and sisters, we need discipline, but we need discipline behind closed doors, not in public where everybody can see it sometimes, depending on what the crime is that you have committed against your own people. Because let me tell you something, when you're dealing with that white LGBTQ LMNOP representative, J. Edgar Hoover, the cross-dressing LGBTQ LMNOZ, whatever the fuck they want to call it, the director of the FBI coming up with COINTELPRO, that's all we need to know. That's all we need to talk about. So I'm telling you right now, it's very, very imperative that we start educating our young black brothers and sisters, man. Because I'm telling you right now, this shit is getting serious. It's getting real on the field, hard on the yard. And there's so many dominant society motherfuckers that get their popcorn and just watch from afar. And there's a lot of racism, white supremacy going on. Like that white brother that was like, yeah, y'all come and see me. He put his address out there. But here's my thing, man. And I'm going to get into all that. So we gonna talk about that shit today, man. We gonna talk about how it relates to the core plantation. I'm always bringing it back to that. And we gonna talk about how, what you say, Erica? Yeah, I know, man. I need to work out, man. I got titties. I need a bra. I need a, what's the cup size? Why you laughing, nigga? I got titties, man. I need to start going to the gym. But anyway, man, we're going to talk about how all that shit relates, man. It's very relatable. We're going to talk about how it relates at the core plantation. We're going to get into all that. We're going to get into how I want those people who shot that brother, Indian Redboy, the nigga that was talking crazy about Nipsey. Okay, y'all disciplined him. Now, keep that same energy towards the dominant white society. Because George Zimmerman's still walking around here and auctioning off guns and Skittles and shit and signing them and shit. And ain't no nigga ran up on him. You know what I'm saying? But we'll sure kill another nigga over another nigga, but we won't kill a white person over a nigga, though. Niggas wouldn't even stand up for Nick Cannon. So we going to get into all that, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into all that. We're going to talk about how it relates to the core plantation and how it relates to black Christians. Because our beautiful black Christian church, sometimes we talk about Jesus said it and getting into heaven, but we will not educate us on racism, white supremacy, and not looking at each other through the lenses of the dominant white society. Meaning, don't look at us from the perspective of white folks. We're going to get into all that. Let's get it. Man. Let me turn this down. Don't get me to singing in here. Oh, yeah. I know. Man, let me turn this shit down. Man. This is the shit that I'm talking about. I'm gonna try to pull some foolish word. There was a brother, man. There was a brother out of I think it was Inglewood, California. I know he was gang related or whatever, and he had some very slick shit, I guess, to say about our late great brother Nipsey Hussle. And I was having this conversation earlier. I think that we need to take more stock and inventory in our millennials and the younger, the 20-year-olds, the 19-year-olds, because they view life through social media. And you get to saying crazy shit about people that you don't know. And sometimes when there are repercussions behind that, you're not expecting it. This young brother, I think his name is Indian Redboy, man. The untimely death, I guess. Again, I hate to see black violence like that anyway, because we out here trying to fight a war. There does need to be discipline too. He should have been disciplined for saying what he said, because we're trying to bring the gangs together, man, and be on the same page and be on code. But he said some very disparaging things about our brother Nipsey Hussle. First of all, they're not even talking about the Nipsey Hussle case, which is crazy and strange to me. I think the Los Angeles Police Department has had Nipsey Hussle assassinated. And I think that they hid behind that shitty cuz motherfucker, but I think they wanted to get rid of him anyway. Him and his brother and all the other young melanated brothers and sisters that were trying to change their life and venture into real estate and have ownership versus just living in apartments. Ain't nothing wrong with living in apartments, but not trying to own nothing and not trying to have a piece of the earth, as E40 talks about. And I just think that Nipsey Hussle, our brother, he was assassinated, by the powers that be. And two, with this young brother, saying disparaging things about him, I don't know if it was clout chasing. I feel like a lot of us, we just want to chase clout and just say crazy shit about people we don't know. And I think a lot of the times what we need to start doing is start being the mentor, the guide to a lot of these young people. Even if they don't listen, they can never say you didn't tell them. Look, man, I wouldn't be doing that on social media. You don't know who's watching or who might take it the wrong way and run up on you. And then when somebody run up on you, you're not going to like that. And this brother, like I said, I don't think he was expecting what he got, because what he got in return was some straight gunplay. And he was on Instagram Live, IG Live, and then you just hear, boom. And I'm just thinking, at first I thought it was fake. And then, as I look on Twitter, because I saw it on Friday feed. And, I try to detox from Twitter sometimes, man, because sometimes I get upset and get angry. But what I did learn was that I feel that I don't think that young brother thought he was gonna get that in return. I think that young brother thought that nothing would happen. Now, here's my thing. They did that to that brother, but Tekashi 6ix9ine, a Latino, could replicate black behavior and talk shit about niggas and go in different neighborhoods and don't nothing happen to him. Now, I don't understand that. Now, how the fuck is Tekashi 6ix9ine walking around here, but they couldn't wait to shoot this young brother? I know he said some disparaging things about our brother Nipsey Hussle, but it's like, goddamn, why don't y'all have the same energy for all these other racial groups? Why is it just our group? We'll go at our group, which is, fine, but keep that same energy with these other racial groups too. Because what they do is be like, okay, good. They'll kill him, but they ain't worried about me because Tekashi 6ix9ine was walking around the whole time and ain't nobody do nothing to him. So why is that happening? That's my question. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to find and see what they say about this brother and see what they say. I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna try to see what I can find. You know what I'm saying? Because man, that was crazy. And when I was watching, I was like, that looked fake. Because at first I thought it was just trolling. Like, oh, somebody's just trolling. And then I looked again and I was like, damn, maybe that young brother did get shot. But besides that, why don't we keep that same energy with George Zimmerman? Why don't we keep that same energy with Darren Wilson? With those cops who killed Alton Sterling or Philando Castile's killers? Why don't we keep that same energy with them? You know what I mean? Why don't we do that? You know what I mean? I don't understand that. But let me see if I can find something. Let me see. Let's see what he said. Let me see. Inglewood family blood killed on Instagram. Let's see. Yeah, let me see what we can find. All right, let me see what I can find, man, because you got a whole bunch of troll videos. I know Willie D put some up. Never saw it coming. Friend of a man who disrespected Nipsey Hussle, mural gunned down. And see, here's the thing, too, man. I almost feel like it was clout. I feel like he was clout chasing, because why would you do that and you don't think he was going to be some type of repercussions? Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't have been disciplined. What I'm saying is sometimes we need to keep that same energy with the dominant white society because they disrespect us all day long and kill us all day long. And we don't have that same energy for them. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, that shouldn't have happened because I know it's a very touchy situation with our brother Nipsey Hussle. But what I'm saying is a lot of the times, keep that same energy with the dominant white society because they're going to keep that energy with us no matter what we say. They're going to keep that same energy with us. So that's all I'm saying. Hold on. Let me see. And the people that's vandalizing Nipsey's memorial, these are young, dumb, immature, no knowledge having motherfuckers who's chasing clout. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm trying to look to see what video I'm gonna play, because Capone, Inglewood family bloods vandalized Nipsey Hussle's mural. Indian Redboy shot dead on Instagram. Big U, Black Salmon, the fight with Nipsey Hussle. Big U put hands on Nipsey. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Let's see. Cause I'm trying to watch what I play, man. Cause I'm not trying to have no gang shit on my shit, man. I grew up around that shit, and I ain't into all that, man. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see if we can find something. I'm just trying to find something. Let me see. Let me see, man. Cause man, this shit is crazy. Let me see. Let me see if I can find some. I'm gonna see. Let me see.
Man.
Let me see what I can find. If not, man, it's not no big deal. Let me see. If it's some nigga, I'm tired of all these videos doing this shit too. Let me see. Let me see what he's saying.
Respected the Nipsey Hussle mural. July 8th, 2021, around 4:10 in the afternoon, Hawthorne police received a call for a shooting off Chadron Ave for a man who was shot in the face. Arriving on scene at the Active Estates apartment complex, police would locate a gray Chevy in the back parking lot with multiple bullet holes in the front windshield and a dead 21-year-old man in the front seat. While it was reported he was shot multiple times, it's alleged he was shot a total of 12 times by the number of gunshots heard on video, and he was identified as Zarel Rivera, but more commonly known on social media as Indian Red, a member of the Inglewood family Gangsta Bloods. Now, IFGB has been around as long as gangbanging itself.
See, that's the thing too, man. You know, internet play, man. You gotta be careful with the internet, and it's a different time, man. You have a lot of people out here trying to chase clout and trying to make a name for themselves, and you know, then a brother gets killed. You know, and it's almost sad, man, because it's like, when are we gonna wake up? That's all I'm saying. When are we gonna wake up? Because a lot of this stuff could be avoided. Why? Let me tell you why it could be avoided. Because some of that stuff, damn, your message just deleted. But a lot of that stuff can be avoided. The reason why I'm saying it could be avoided is because it's like, it's all in the upbringing and how you were socialized. If you were socialized to live through it, that's why y'all, look, I do this, the YouTube page and my Instagram is about as much and my Twitter is about as much, but I don't be on there to chase clout. Y'all should know by now. Erica, you should already know, my nigga. I'm not trying to be on here chasing no clout. I'm not trying to be on here saying whatever public opinion wants or deems that I should be saying, so I get followed. I don't care about no motherfucking followers, man. If you don't fuck with me anyway, then don't follow me. I don't care. That shit don't bother me. I'm not on here trying to like prostitute my integrity or prostitute the integrity of my culture just so I can move forward. No, I'm cool, man. And I didn't like that shit. When I saw that shit, he was just laughing and then boom, he got shot. And when I seen that shit, I was on Twitter. Hey, what's going on, No Compromise? Hey, man, y'all need to go check that dude's podcast out, man. That nigga shit is tight. I fuck with that nigga shit real heavy. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, Erica, go check that nigga out. This nigga's podcast, Shawnee, when you get a chance, check No Compromise podcast out. When I watched this podcast, it was so good, I almost was like, damn, No Compromise, man, you need to do you should do a tour. I wish you can kind of do a tour. That Real Fathers tour or whatever. I forgot what the name of it's called, but he breaks it down what real fathers are, how they should mentor black people, black kids, and it's dope. Because I wish I had that growing up, because I didn't have that growing up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I guess you see me banging so hard on black Christians sometimes, because I feel like we get more into the religion part of it, but we don't get into the psychological part of dealing with racism, white supremacy, and how black fathers are removed from the home. By force or by choice, they're still removed from the home because there's no stability as far as the black father has. Why? Because hurt people. And if he grew up with no stability, he's not going to give stability to his family. That's what I've learned and I've observed. And a lot of the times, black churches, they're more focused on the imagery, in my opinion. Oh, man, you know I fuck with you all day, man. Hey, I'm telling you, when I came across the podcast, I subscribed ASAP. And I liked it, man, because you was saying shit that needs to be heard. Really, your shit need to be on satellite. You need to, I'm gonna keep it a buck. You need to be on satellite radio, bro. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I'm no bullshit. You need to be on satellite radio. You know what I'm saying? And regular radio, so people can hear you. Really, you need to be on like Dame Dash's network or something where people can hear you on a major thing, man, because those things that you were touching on were dope. That's why I fuck with my sister that made. I support black business, bro. I don't just be running my mouth. For real. Nigga, don't get it twisted. I got the sister's car right here. I'm gonna order some more glasses. Shit. I got that. Look, I got the Freedom Paper Company. You want to wipe your ass? I got that too. You want that? I got that too, nigga. Shit, I stay supporting black businesses. I got CMOS, all that. I'm telling you, man, that's what it is. And I think a lot of it, like on No Compromise podcast, Erica, is some real shit, man. Shauna, you understand too. Like, once you start removing black fathers from the home, especially, in the United States of America Incorporated, it really affects the black household. It just really affects young melanated brothers and sisters when they don't have their dads around. When they don't know and have guidance. That young brother, I think his name, the young brother from Inglewood family, that's sad, man, because I wish there would have been somebody like an OG to pull him to the side saying, man, why you do that shit, man? Like, why you do that? Now, that's a sensitive subject, man, and why would you do that? Now you trying to bring heat on everybody. No discipline. Want to chase clout. No diss, but maybe that young brother, Indian Redboy, maybe he didn't have no father around or no father figure. A lot of niggas join gangs because they don't have a father figure around. A lot of niggas join gangs because they have a father figure around. Maybe they don't get along with their father. It's so many different reasons why. You know what I'm saying? I can only talk about my experience, and I'm not going to get too deep about it, but I've had a lot of family members in gangs, lost their lives to gangs. And a lot of my family members that lost their lives, they didn't even know their dad. Their dads wasn't even around. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of 80s babies and a lot of 90s babies, they don't have good relationships with their parents. And I feel like a lot of parents, stop acting like you're beyond reproach, like you don't make mistakes. For real, man, because that shit ain't cool. That's why we end up with a lot of low testosterone gossip queen males. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. That is facts for real, for real. And I try not to be like that. Where are you from, fam? I'm from LA. I went to Shenandoah Elementary. And who all know where Shenandoah is in LA, West LA. You know, I was on for Webster. I was on for Palms Junior High. I was on for Palisades, Santa Monica High School. You know, where I lived, I was on for the Malibu district. But nigga, I was on for Hamilton High School. That's a fact. Westchester, Fairfax. I was on for all that. So I'm from LA, man. And my church was on the other side of LA. My church was more, what hood was that? It was in a gangbanging neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So, then I had family in Watts, all over, man. So I saw that growing up. I saw a lot of that. And I had a lot of family members that was involved in that, big time. And so I know what it does and I know what it brings. And a lot of the times, I don't think these young kids, melanated kids, understand what they're doing on social media. You know what I mean? And that young brother, literally got killed on social media. Wow. So you know firsthand how it is. Oh, man. Look, when I used to go to I went to Shenandoah Elementary before we moved to West Covina. I'll get on that in a minute. Now, when I went to Shenandoah Elementary, the majority of the people I saw were black. There were a sprinkle Asians and a sprinkle white, but the majority of the white kids, they were like white Jewish kids because that elementary is in a Jewish neighborhood, but it's also a gang neighborhood over there too. So sometimes, when we go to school, we'd have to go to different classes because the gangs would break into the school and write, their gang name on there and stuff. I grew up seeing that. I remember that as a kid. And then before I got into junior high, the parents I was living with, they moved us to West Covina, and I hated that shit. I would have much rather stayed in LA. I'm not even gonna lie. I would have much rather stayed in LA, played basketball, played a sport. If I would have got jumped, I'd have got jumped. Because back then you get jumped. It wasn't really a lot of gunplay unless it got real serious. So, I would have rather done that because I hated the time in West Covina. I hated it. Now, maybe if I'd have moved to DeWardia, Monrovia, around my people, I would have probably had a different perspective. But let me tell you something. There's nothing better than being around your people because when I was around my people in LA, I didn't have nigger wrote on my wall every day. See, we used to have that on our wall. We had a white brick wall, and they would write nigger on the wall every day. And we'd have to paint that shit. So when you grow up seeing that shit, and you know, I don't have no animosity towards my Latino brothers and sisters, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we're more accepting of y'all than y'all have ever been accepting of us. Y'all tell y'all kids don't date us. We don't tell shit. So I look, man, I saw all that. And then when we moved to West Covina, I was still going to LA every day because our church is in LA. So family is in LA. So I was around it forever, and I saw it firsthand. So I knew what it was. Very dangerous, man. Very dangerous. It's not something that you want to involve yourself in. And a lot of it you see is young brothers without fathers and father figures and people that are influential in their life to guide them on a different path. I've seen that shit a lot. That's why, where I grew up, I took out a lot of time with younger kids because it's easy for a kid to slip away and be around a gang because they don't have nothing else going on. So I've seen a lot of that shit. It's really bad here in Grainsville. My 17-year-old daughter was asking me if I knew that not even reporting it on the news is so bad. What happened in what happened in Gainesville? Educate me on that, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why look. And one of the things that I noticed too. Look, I'm not saying that brother shouldn't have been disciplined for disrespecting our great late brother Nipsey Hussle. What I am saying is, after y'all discipline him, take that same mentality and that energy and apply it to George Zimmerman. Apply it to Officer Yanez, who shot and killed Philando Castile and almost killed his daughter. Apply it to those people. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't discipline our own. We have to discipline our own. We have to stay on code and discipline our own. There's a neighborhood called Holy Heights and Sugarfoot. There's always fighting with the kids out east. Okay. It is. It's sad, man. When I saw that and I saw the brother get killed, gunplay, 1221, black on black, facts. When I saw it, because like I said before, when I watched it the first time, it looked fake. I was like, is this brother just trying to get clout and act like he got shot, or what's going on? Then I watched it again. And when I watched it the second time, I was like, oh, I think that's real. And for you to be on, that means somebody was watching. That's fine. But internet play is not for play. And I think a lot of us and a lot of these young melanated brothers and sisters think everything is a game. As Neo asked Morpheus, if I die in the Matrix, do I die in real life? Like I just said, Morpheus said the body cannot live without the mind. So motherfuckers need to plug out of the Matrix, study, read, get around people that's trying to elevate, man. Not dissipate, not lower their vibration and their frequency, man. Look, I'm not saying don't have respect for our brothers and sisters that are, gang affiliated. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is keep that same energy towards the system of racism, white supremacy. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm going to tell you, if you go down south, they don't give a fuck what gang you from. Them hillbillies and them good old boys, they going to have their Confederate flags. They going to have their motherfucking white sheets. And nigga, they going to draw down on your ass. And you ain't going to have time to be like, oh, I'm not beefing with you. I'm beefing with the Crips. I'm beefing with the blood. They going to be like, fuck all you niggas. I don't give a fuck who you beefing with. Fuck all y'all. And if we could, we'd eliminate all y'all. As Margaret Sanger said, black people are like weeds who need to be exterminated. You know what I mean? That's why she couldn't wait to give us Planned Parenthood, which Hillary Clinton said that was her hero, Margaret Sanger. See, we got so much white on black crime. Not black on white, but white on black crime. We need to focus on that shit, man. Straight up. We need to discipline ourselves. So somebody that was affiliated with that young brother, Indian Redboy, should have pulled his collar, should have bopped him upside his head a couple times, made him apologize, made him take that ink down and stop disrespecting that brother, man, and going about your way. Where's the hierarchy at? Where the OGs at that's pulling these youngsters to the side and telling them, hey, man, you doing too much? Because what's happening is if you don't do it, the streets gonna do it. You gotta start educating, man. Reading. Knowing there's more to life than jumping on social media and showing everybody you the biggest gangbanger on the planet. No, let me tell you who the biggest gangbanger on the planet. I'm going to tell you who the biggest gangbanger on the planet. Our white LBGTQ LMNOP brother, J. Edgar Hoover, and the FBI, the Alphabet Boys, the CIA, the NSA. That's the biggest gang in the United States of America Incorporated. That's the biggest gang. Not us. Niggas think we the biggest gang. No, nigga. You're at the bottom of the food chain. Nigga. While we out here having animosity towards each other and using this crabs in a barrel mentality, the dominant white society is making moves on our community every single day. I was reading this article about this young sister who, I guess they found her they couldn't even find her. She was just there, then 1 minute she was gone. I say it's organ harvesting. Just like this young black brother that was on his wrestling team, all of a sudden they found him rolled up in a wrestling mat, but he ain't got no organs. Stop, man. Y'all know what the fuck y'all doing. We better wake up, man. Look, man, even if they ain't your kids, pull them to the side, man. Give them words of wisdom, guidance. Don't just act like, well, ain't my kids. I don't give a fucking. Oh, well, that's on them. Nah, man. Straight up. The reason why I say that, man, is because, like I said, I've been around that a lot. And I've seen, well-respected niggas casket sharp in the casket. They reopened that investigation. Yeah, do y'all know? Hey, Erica, did you know that those two white kids who had something to do with that brother being killed and them taking his organs, their dad works for either the FBI or he was a judge somewhere high up in law enforcement. And that's why they never prosecuted those two white boys. They both act like they didn't know what was going on. And the first time I heard it on another podcast, on the Zoe What podcast. The lady called in and was like, yeah, man, my son was rolled up in a fucking wrestling mat. And then, you can hear, like Dick Gregory talks about organs harvesting and, organ harvesting, how they get organs and shit. First of all, let me break this down to you. David Rockefeller had like fucking 7 heart transplants. So what does that tell you? Do you know how hard it is to get on y'all ain't never seen John Q? That shit, yeah, it's a movie and it's on some fake shit, but nigga, you don't just get placed on a heart list like that and just get a heart. But when you David Rockefeller, you are. When you control shit, you are. So we gotta understand that, man. That's why I took that shit off I ain't no organ donor. Unless you gonna give my organs to another melanated person. I ain't giving my organs to no. Why would I do that? Why you say that, Warren? Go read the book Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. I'm only going to talk about books that I actually read. Read that book about medical apartheid and all the bullshit that they was doing to black people. It was talking about this one brother, man, in there, man. He was from San Francisco, and I think he was throwing newspapers off the truck. He was working for them. He fell off the truck and broke his leg. And he didn't want to go to the hospital, to the county hospital in San Francisco or whatever, because he know what they do. And they went anyway, and they shot his leg full of plutonium. They had to amputate his leg and shit. Like, man, what the fuck what is that? And then John Sims, shout out to Shawnee, John Sims, or James Sims, comes up with the first fistula. This motherfucker was operating on black women and not giving them anesthesia because he was like, they black, they ain't have no feelings. They can't feel shit. Fuck them. I had that book. Oh, man, it's a great book. That book was... I'm speechless about that book. I still talk about that book is fucked up. And if you got that, yes, Henrietta Lacks, how they was stem cells, using her stem cells to heal other white folk. Not black folk, white folk. And let me tell you something. And if you read in that book too, hey, no compromise. You reading that book. I love when people read these books because you can vet me out. In that book, doesn't it talk about how a lot of them white people was dying from yellow fever? Quote me if I'm wrong. A lot of them white people was dying from yellow fever, and the fucking slave masters was like, why the fuck ain't none of these niggas dying? Like, why the fuck they not dying, but we all dying? Vet me if I'm wrong. And then a lot of those OBGYN obstetricianists, they would come out, and doctors would come out and look at the slaves, and the slaves, what they would do is, they would, even if I'm not mistaken, but even if they were sick, they would act like they weren't sick, or they would act like they were sick so they would have to go out there because it would be harsh conditions. Quote me if I'm wrong, brother. Vet me out. I don't claim to know anything. You know what I'm saying? I only knew a tidbit of this shit. Another thing, one brother, it was like hostile. They tried to keep him in the hospital. This motherfucker took all the shit off of him and had to get the fuck out of there. They was getting ready to kill him straight up. And then a lot of those doctors would come out and see the slaves, and they would lie on behalf of the slave because they knew how harsh the conditions were. But even through those conditions, as Dr. Claude Edison teaches us, we are a special people. So even in those conditions, we still wasn't getting sick and getting yellow fever and dying from, all these fucking diseases that the dominant society was dying, like the Black Plague and all that shit back in the day. Them motherfuckers was the ones dying first, not us. Because if you notice, they don't teach this, but the Europeans was living among the chickens and the pigs and the cows and eating and living like just living nasty. The Moors come in and say, hey, y'all nasty. Y'all need to bathe and clean up. Matter of fact, here's some alcohol. We are the first person to give them alcohol. You need to clean up. You need some antibacterial in your life. They don't teach that. That's why I'm telling you, read that book, Medical Apartheid, and No Compromise. Hey, vet me out if I'm wrong, my nigga. If I don't know what I'm saying, call me out on it. In that book, too, Harriet Washington talks about how the digger she started diving and digging, the deeper she started digging into the history, the more she was getting pushback from other people. Like, why are you digging into this? Why are you doing this? Because they don't want this told. Yep, we introduced them to soap. Thank you. These motherfuckers was nasty and dirty and living with the chickens and eating chicken shit. They was the first niggas eating chitlins. And then the Moors come and say, hey, man, y'all nasty. Y'all need to bathe. Like, y'all nasty, man. No, we eat 7-course meals here. You don't just eat everything at one time. We're responsible for that. And look, let me tell you, how you know that, Warren? Okay, you want to vet me out? I want anybody that's listening to this. It was also a slave that showed them about vaccinations. Facts. That's a fact. Look, if you don't want to vet me out, Hollywood knows this. Go look up this movie called The Long Ship with Sidney Poitier in it. And he's in there as a Moor. He's got a perm and a whip, and there's a bunch of white people in chains. It's called The Long Ship. Like, I got this book called White Gold. It's about, see, these are things that people need to understand. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if our young brothers and sisters knew this, they won't be as quick, and their tolerance would be a lot higher than lower for each other. They would have lower tolerance for other racial groups and higher tolerance for us. Like, there was, okay, our Italian brothers and sisters. See, I remember one time Eddie Murphy did this joke, fucking mooly, because that's what they call us, mooly, moulignon, fucking mooly. People don't know the origination. I got the book. His name is called Moulay Ishmael. That was his name, and he was a Moor, and he wasn't no joke. I got the book. It's called White Gold. And when he came around, motherfuckers knew. And the Italians would say, Moulay's coming, Moulay, 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 Moulay. That's what they would say. That's where Moulay comes from. Moulay, Moulignon. That's where it comes from. See, we got to know where this shit comes from, man. That's why when you read books like Medical Apartheid, when Harriet Washington she started digging more and more and more. She was getting a lot of pushback from a lot of different resources. Very, very good book. Go check it out. Another book I would suggest you read is A Price for a Pound of Flesh. This book is crazy. Right now I'm reading Never Caught, the untold story of Una Judge. And she was George Washington's slave. She was Martha Washington's slave. Her mother was Martha Washington's slave. People don't know this. Martha Washington had more money than George Washington. Martha Washington already had money. She had on like 3 plantations, or 2, or one of them. I forgot the name of it. And she had over 300 slaves on the plantation. She had 17,500 acres of land. This is what Martha Washington had. Let me repeat it one more time to y'all. 17,500 acres of fucking land. And you want to tell me that we don't deserve reparations? Stop. So that's why George Washington got with her, because she already had kids, she already had money. See, because a lot of those women, a lot of those white women, the minorities, that's why you got to stop using the term minority. Minority means white women too. as Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us, those are broad and ambiguous terms, man. Don't use those terms. That's what they told you to use. Don't use people of color. Don't use none of that. Because you talking about Martha Washington. You talking about people that own slaves too. No, man, you got to be specific to native foundational black Americans, man. Section us off. We not them. You know what I'm saying? And that book, A Price for a Pound of Flesh, this book right here, this book is crazy, man. It's written by a sister too. I think her name is Diana Ramey or whatever, or Rainey or Barry. I forgot her last name. It's on here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Deanna or Diana or whatever the fuck her name is. She cool though. Very, very good book. Got some crazy pictures in here of the white men posing with black people. I showed this picture before because they was using black people to fucking basically dig up other black people and basically steal black bodies. Very good book. You know what I'm saying? Go check that book out, man. I really think people should check out Medical Apartheid. That's one of my favorite books, man, because a lot of the shit that's in there, my brother No Compromise, he just vetted me out. And Henrietta Lacks, they talk about her. They was talking about so many different people and how they was doing study. They was studying the melanin then. Like I said, that one brother, he broke his leg. He didn't want to go to the hospital. They shot his leg up with plutonium. I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? I mean, it was, back in the day, it was just a straight open season for black bodies because they were dissecting them. That's why even in this book, A Price for a Pound of Flesh, and other books that I've read, they talk about Nat Turner and how they would, you know, they would keep his like different body parts. Like somebody had his skull, so they were like passing his skull around because they was like monumental to them. And white people were studying it because they felt like, well, why is this nigga so oppositional? Well, Nat Turner was oppositional because he knew what y'all was doing was wrong. You know what I'm saying? To me, there's more Hayward Shepherds in the world than we know. And the reason why I said it is because that young black brother that killed Nipsey Hussle, he was used by the dominant society. They don't even talk about him no more. If he killed a white person, they be talking about him till the cows come home. They still talking about OJ. Still talking about OJ. That shit was 30 years ago. They still talk about OJ. It's so funny, but when you bring up all the shit that Nicole Brown's sister was doing and she was a dope fiend, they don't talk about all that. But with Trayvon Martin, what did they do? They plastered everything he did and said all over the news to try to muddy up the waters and damage his character and credibility with the court of public opinion. But when the motherfuckers start talking about Nicole Brown's sister, she fucking all the other football players and just man, that shit kills me. But you look up the killer of Nipsey Hussle, you can't find, you don't even know what the fuck is going on. That's because they don't care. Their job is done. If you're from LA and you know, they didn't want Nipsey Hussle owning that shopping center. They want that to be returned back to the hands of white folk. They know our melanin is the chemical, the chemical key to life. Exactly. That's why your melanin is being traded on the stock market. Facts. I got this book. I haven't even gotten to it yet. It's called The Great Book of Melanin. I got two of them. I'm going to have to show them. I haven't read them at all. And I read they boiled him. Nat Turner. Yes, they did. They boiled him. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And made a soap out of him to try to get his essence. Yes, they did do that. Because it talks about it in this book too. All the bullshit that they was doing. You know what I'm saying? Cutting off different pieces of his body and his organs. And they was looking at his head because they wanted to see, well, why is he acting like that? Why is he so oppositional and contrarian? He should want slavery. You know, we're helping them. You know, because before we got here, they didn't know what was going on. See, white folk write it down what they've done. That's why don't let these people tell you you wasn't here in the beginning. You was here. See, they try to separate Indians from black people as if black people weren't Indians. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. Nigga, we was here first. How do you think Christopher Columbus, a.k.a. Cristobal Colon, how you think he got here? Moors built the ships. Go read the book, They Came Before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. Just read that book. That'll give you the best introductory to Moors. Read that book. That book is a great fucking book, man. And it breaks it down. It talks about tobacco and how the Moors would harvest the tobacco and use it as a healing agent. And you stand over it. And when they would burn it, see, because they would cultivate the tobacco. And what they would do is they would harvest it and they wouldn't add no chemicals to it and do nothing fucked up to it. So they would burn it. And when they would burn it, you would stand over it and the smoke would go through your anus and heal the insides of your gastrointestinal shit. So all the organs in your stomach and your colon and all that, it would heal that, because a lot of Moors, if they eat meat, eating wrong shit, they'd have stomach aches and shit like we do today. So they would burn the tobacco and stand over it, and it would go through your anus, and it would heal the insides of your colon, your small intestines, your large intestines. This is what they was doing hundreds of years ago. This is what Moors was doing. But you want to tell me that white folk are the reason why civilization the way it is? No, white folks is the reason why it's the volatile civilization that it is. Like Muammar Gaddafi. Motherfuckers talk all that shit. I got a book. It's called The Green Book. It's about Muammar Gaddafi. But I met a person from Libya when I used to work at the Rec. I've told this story before. She was from Libya, and she was just like, man, it is not. She was like, her husband more wanted to come to the United States. She didn't even really want to come. She liked it in Libya. And she was like, if you came to Libya, you would be treated like gold. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, they don't play that shit out there in Libya. When Muammar was alive. This is when Muammar Gaddafi was alive. She was like, they don't play that shit out there. And I was like, what you mean? She was like, no, you would be treated like gold. They wouldn't do that shit to you. All that racism, all that shit is over here. That shit ain't over there. Like I said before, if y'all remember, back in the day, they was only cutting off white folks' head. They wasn't doing that shit to niggas. Yes, They Came Before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. Very good book. And remember the Moors, remember, vet me if I'm wrong, my brother. I love it when people read these books, because niggas know, now you can say, okay, yeah, this nigga really read the book. Because niggas just think I be running my mouth. Okay, now They Came Before Columbus, the Moors didn't even really want to fuck with goddamn Christopher Columbus. They didn't want to fuck with him. They wanted to kill him at sea. And remember, the first time he tried to sail without the Moors, he got lost. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, vet me out, no compromise. He wrote it down in his diary. He got lost. He didn't even know where to go. He got lost. And then he had to go back, and then his boat was all fucked up because the boats were being built by Moors. See, people don't understand. We were doing trade with China thousands of years ago. We had the elephants. That's why if you read this book right here called World's Great Men of Color by J.A. Rogers, the legendary J.A. Rogers, it talks about how Hannibal, I think it was either Hannibal, I forgot, I think it was General Hannibal or one of them. One of those brothers was training elephants. He was really good with elephants. I think it was Hannibal. He was good with elephants. So when he would be at war with other Europeans, he knew how to use the elephants. And the elephants would stump mud holes through those Europeans. And they did not like that shit. Because they was like, how the fuck he got these elephants acting like this? And the elephants would stump mud holes through those motherfuckers. Because that was his gift. You know why? Because we're one with nature. It's just like the Haitian Revolution with Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Dirty Bookman, Mackendall. Everybody go get Dirty Bookman's prayer. Hannibal Barker, yeah, that's him. In this book, it talks about it. And I think I got that book. It's in this book right here. And then it's in, I think, Before the Mayflower. I think he's in that book. Have you read Before the Mayflower? He's in that book. Who else is in that book? Queen Nzinga's in that book. I've read several books where Queen Nzinga's in it. And I got a book specifically on her. But Queen Nzinga was dope too. Look at what the white people did to her. Queen Nzinga, her brother was the king or whatever. But he was more diplomatic. And she like, look, man, these motherfuckers don't fuck with you. So what the white people did was had the king assassinated Queen Nzinga's brother. And then they put it out there that she had him assassinated. So she had to flee the country and shit because they was about to try to kill her. And then she gathered forces around. And then the forces was like, no, we agree with you. Let's kill all these white motherfuckers. And then that's when she was able to take power. Queen Nzinga. Very, very good book. But I'm telling you right now, man, go read that book. And yeah, Hannibal Barker, they did not like him. That motherfucking Hannibal was cold. That nigga was, man, he was cold with those elephants. And they did not like that shit either. See, let me tell you something. Once you start learning history, then you start looking at things differently. Like, we've always watched Dracula. Y'all notice, vampire stories in Dracula is the longest running thing in Hollywood. Y'all don't never notice that? Let me tell you why. Because of Vlad the Impaler. That's why. You don't have Vlad the Impaler, you don't have the Dracula story. Vlad the Impaler was the only motherfucker that wasn't afraid of the Moors. And when he would kill Moors, he would impale them and put them on spikes. And then he would let their blood drain out and he would drink their blood because he felt like that was giving him power. He felt like that was giving him power. But the thing about Vlad the Impaler that they don't tell you about, that Vlad was not tolerant of a lot of white people's bullshit either. It wasn't just black people. He was at war with white folk too. See, but they don't tell you that part. They only tell you the part where he's killing niggas. But they don't even tell you that part. They found a coin with Hannibal and the elephant on it. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I would love to get my hand on that coin because those white people, now vet me if I'm wrong, those white people were in awe at how he was able to train those elephants. Okay, elephant is the biggest thing in the jungle. Nobody's fucking with a grown elephant. Maybe a calf, but a grown elephant will fuck you up. That's why you don't ever see lions trying to take over elephants. You don't ever see none of that. They so strong and so powerful, and they got memory like a motherfucker, and they will fuck you up. And the thing about it is he was so at one with the elephants. Those Europeans and the great world's great men of color, them Europeans like, how the fuck is he at one with these fucking elephants, man? What the fuck? They did not like that shit either. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, I think that we need to know history, man, because history will teach us about who we were then, and it'll tell you where we're going now. And I think a lot of us don't understand that is because we don't know history. And no diss, you know, to our black Christians. I got love for my black Christians, brothers and sisters, but they got Pau Gasol on the wall that you praying to, that's fine. But they won't even tell you the history on that Jesus that's on the wall. That's Cesare Borgia. That his dad's Pope Rodrigo. And the Borgias. You gotta know these things, man. We gave India the elephant as well. Yes. Yes. Because in that book, They Came Before Columbus, it talks about how the Chinamen, they were responsible for fireworks. They were the first people that kind of came up with the fireworks or whatever. And we would do trade with China back in the day. So the Moors would have to construct big ass ships, like big ass ships. And they would put elephants on the ships. And they would take elephants to China and take elephants everywhere else because we were the only ones that had elephants, and we were the only ones that knew how to train and tame them. But see, we treated elephants the way they should have been treated. Because elephants, they have memory like a motherfucker. So when you see elephants go rogue and start acting a fool, that's because they're remembering how they're being treated. And with Hannibal Barca, Hannibal, he treated them with love. And that's why they would kill for him. And that's why a lot of those European forces, they would try to gang up on him. They're like, how the fuck we gonna beat this motherfucker, man? He got all these fucking elephants. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are just things that I didn't know back in the day. Now I know. Just like, you know, when you think of, you know, the Dracula story and all that, like I was just saying, let me tell you something. If you don't think that Hollywood knows, y'all niggas is crazy. Y'all niggas out of your mind. Go watch this movie on Netflix called Vampires in the Bronx. It came out in 2020 last year. It's called Vampires in the Bronx. And it's about these kids and how these vampires were gentrifying the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? And as they were gentrifying the Bronx, nobody knew that they were vampires. And they had one slave who did all their bidding, so he can come out in the daytime. But all the rest of the vampires, they had to stay hidden and dark. Well, guess what their calling card was? Their business card. Their business card was a picture of Vlad the Impaler. The only reason why I knew it was Vlad the Impaler, because I had read the book. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Vlad the Impaler. Hollywood know what the fuck it is, man. It's just, we don't know what it is. They gonna always tell you. They gonna mix lies and they gonna put truth in there. I just saw a note about a young black kids learning their history perform better than the ones who do not know true black history. I just saw a note about young black kids learning their history perform better than the ones who do not know true black history. Facts. I'm telling you, man, we have to know that shit, man. We have to know it. Go read The Destruction of a Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. That's a good book, too. A very, very good book. He kind of talks about, you know, he breaks down like the Moors. He breaks down, you know, Native Americans, basically blacks, and the history and where we came from and where we are going. That book is so detailed. I had to read it twice. I'm telling you, man, very, very good book. Very good book. But hey, man, look, I've been on here for a minute, straight up. And I think that we understand what it is. We need to understand what it's not. Stop having this vitriolic feeling towards your people and keep that energy with the dominant white society. Black folk, stop getting on the internet and just running your mouth and saying very disparaging, disrespectful things about legends and other people, because people will take that serious and they will want to discipline you about that. And that young brother, he shouldn't have done that. And then you on video, you doing all that. That's not what you do. And that ain't cool. And let this be a lesson to other young black folk. Get on the internet and get the plan if you want. This is the Matrix. As Morpheus told Neo, the body cannot live without the mind. So go ahead, go on the internet, get to talking crazy if you want. I bet you'll be thinking twice before you get on the internet and see. Everybody think they can do what Tekashi do. My thing is, Tekashi's still walking around here, and he said a bunch of disrespectful shit about a bunch of black folk, and he's still walking around here. Ain't nobody did nothing to him, but a nigga do one disrespectful thing, and we can't wait to get him. But ain't nobody want to get Tekashi, want to get, this nigga was telling and doing all kinds of shit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't understand. Where's that energy for them people? We had that energy for us all the time, but we don't have that energy for other racial groups that go out of their way to be disrespectful to us. That's the shit that I don't get, man. That's what I don't get. But I'll tell you this, man. We need to do the reading, the research, understand what it is. Y'all know what it is. Shawnee, shout out to Philly. Tasha, y'all already know Miss Wendy. Y'all know what it is, man. Hey, handle your business. Read at least 5 minutes a day. That's better than not reading at all, man. Read what you can, study. Hey, man, and understand this. The internet is fake with real consequences. Hey, man, I appreciate all y'all, man. I'm out, man. Peace, nigga. Guilty.